I wake up with a jolt, a strange sense of unease settling in my chest. The house is quiet, too quiet. Sarah isn't beside me. I glance at the clock. It's 3 a.m. My mind races with thoughts as I slip out of bed and tiptoe down the hallway. The soft glow from the living room tells me she's awake. I find her curled up on the couch, her laptop open on her knees. "Sarah," I whisper, not wanting to startle her. She looks up, eyes wide, and quickly shuts the laptop. "Just couldn't sleep," she says, forcing a smile. "Go back to bed." But something feels off. She's been acting strange lately, distant, distracted. My heart tightens with a mixture of suspicion and fear. I don't push her, just nod and return to bed. But sleep eludes me. The next morning, I leave for work early. I'm a senior engineer at a tech firm, and my job is demanding. Usually, I bury myself in projects, but today my mind is elsewhere. I keep replaying the scene from last night. Her nervous smile, the way she shut the laptop so quickly. Something isn't right. At lunch, I pick up my phone and text her. "How's your day?" I wait, staring at the screen, but she doesn't reply. My stomach churns. She always replies. When I get home, Sarah is in the kitchen, chopping vegetables for dinner. The scent of garlic and onions fills the air. "Hey," I say, trying to keep my tone light. "Hey," she responds, not meeting my eyes. We eat in near silence, the clinking of cutlery the only sound. Our two teenagers, Jake and Emily, are engrossed in their phones, oblivious to the tension. After dinner, I offer to do the dishes, watching Sarah as she retreats to the bedroom. My thoughts swirl, the unease growing stronger. Later, I find her phone on the kitchen counter. I know it's wrong, but I can't help myself. I pick it up, my hands trembling. There it is, a message from David, her boss. "Missed you today. Can't wait for tomorrow." My heart pounds. I confront her that night. "Sarah, what's going on with you and David?" Her face pales, eyes wide. "What do you mean?" she stammers, trying to act confused. I hold up her phone. Explain this." She snatches the phone from my hand. "It's nothing, just work stuff." "Work stuff at 11 p.m.? I feel a mix of anger and hurt. "I'm not stupid, Sarah." She looks away, tears forming in her eyes. "You don't understand. It's complicated." "Complicated how?" My voice rises. "We've been married for 17 years, Sarah. Don't I deserve the truth?" She starts crying, but I don't feel pity. I feel betrayed. I storm out, grabbing my keys, needing air, needing to think. I drive aimlessly, my mind a mess of anger and confusion. How could she do this? What did I miss? When I return home, she's asleep, or pretending to be. I lie beside her, staring at the ceiling. Everything seems ordinary, but my life has changed. I can't go back to how things were. I need to know the truth. I need to make them pay for this betrayal. The next few days are a blur. I can't focus at work. My mind keeps returning to that message from David. I replay the confrontation with Sarah over and over in my head. I need answers. I need proof. One evening, I sit in my car outside David's office. It's dark and I watch as people leave. Finally, I see Sarah. She's smiling, laughing even, as she steps out with David. My stomach churns with anger and betrayal. I take out my phone and snap a few pictures. Evidence. I follow them, keeping my distance. They drive to a small, upscale restaurant. I park a few blocks away and wait. 2 hours later, they emerge, looking cozy. I take more pictures as they get into his car. I follow again, heart pounding. They arrive at a hotel. This is it. This is my proof. I take more pictures and then head home, seething. I confront Sarah again that night. "I followed you," I say as soon as she walks in. She looks shocked. "What? You followed me?" "I saw you with David. At the restaurant. At the hotel." I throw the pictures on the table. "Explain this." She looks at the pictures, tears welling up in her eyes. "It's not what you think, I swear." "Not what I think?" I shout. "You think I'm stupid?" She breaks down, sobbing. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." "Sorry doesn't cut it, Sarah. I want the truth. All of it." She nods, wiping her eyes. "David and I, it started a few months ago. It was just flirting at first, but then..." "Then what?" I press. "Then it became more. I'm sorry, I never meant for it to happen." Why Sarah? Why him? She looks at me, eyes filled with guilt and shame. I don't know, he was charming, attentive. You were always busy with work. I felt neglected. I feel a pang of guilt, but it's overshadowed by anger. That's no excuse for cheating. She nods. I know. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. I leave the house needing to clear my head. I drive to a nearby park and sit in my car, thinking, I've got proof now. But this isn't just about the affair anymore. David is dangerous. I need to dig deeper. The next day, I call in sick and start researching David. I dig into his background, his business dealings. The more I find, the more I realize he's involved in some shady activities. Fraud, embezzlement, even ties to organized crime. My heart races. This is bigger than I thought. I decide to confront David directly. I need to know what kind of man I'm dealing with. I set up a meeting under the guise of discussing a business proposal. When I arrive at his office, he greets me with a smug smile. Tom, what a surprise, he says. What brings you here? I sit across from him, trying to keep my composure. I know about you and Sarah. His smile falters for a moment, then he recovers. I see. And what do you plan to do about it? I lean in, my voice low and menacing. I've been looking into you, David. I know about your illegal activities. If you don't stay away from my wife, I'll expose everything. He laughs, a cold, mirthless sound. You think you can threaten me? I could ruin you with a single phone call. I feel a chill run down my spine, but I don't back down. Maybe. But I have nothing left to lose. If you don't end it with Sarah, I'll make sure you go down. He narrows his eyes. You're playing a dangerous game, Tom. Maybe, but it's a game I intend to win. I leave his office, adrenaline pumping through my veins. This isn't over, not by a long shot. That night, I lay awake, thinking about my next move. I need more evidence, something concrete to bring him down. I start recording every interaction, every phone call, every meeting. I document everything. Days turn into weeks. I become obsessed, consumed by my quest for justice. My relationship with Sarah deteriorates further. We barely speak. When we do, it's tense, filled with accusations and apologies. One night, as I'm going through the recordings, I find something. A conversation between David and one of his associates. They're discussing a deal, something big and illegal. My heart races. This is it. This is the evidence I need. I take the recording to the police, hoping they'll take it seriously. They listen, nodding, but they need more. They need concrete proof. I feel a mix of frustration and determination. I won't give up. Not now. I start tailing David again, documenting his every move. I follow him to meetings, record his conversations, gather more evidence. It's risky, but I have no choice. I need to protect my family to bring him down. One evening, I follow him to a secluded warehouse on the outskirts of town. I hide in the shadows, recording as he meets with a group of men. They're discussing a shipment, something illegal. My heart pounds as I realize I'm witnessing a major crime. I record everything, every word, every detail. Suddenly, one of the men spots me. "Who's there?" he shouts. I freeze, my heart pounding. They approach, guns drawn. I turn and run, adrenaline surging. I barely escape, my car screeching as I speed away. My hands tremble as I clutch the steering wheel, my mind racing. I have enough evidence now. I take it to the police, handing over the recordings. They listen, their expressions grim. "This is serious," one of the officers says. "We'll need to put you in protective custody. David won't take this lightly." I nod, knowing the danger I'm in. But I don't care. I've come too far to back down now. They set up surveillance, keeping an eye on my house, my family. I feel a mix of fear and relief. That night, I confront Sarah one last time. "It's over," I say. "I have enough evidence to bring David down." She looks at me, eyes filled with a mix of relief and fear. "What about us, Tom?" I sigh, feeling the weight of the past few months. "I don't know, but we need to get through this first." The police raid the warehouse, arresting David and his associates. The news spreads and I watch as his empire crumbles, but the victory feels hollow. My marriage is in shambles, my trust in Sarah broken. Days turn into weeks as the legal process unfolds. I testify in court, providing the evidence I gathered. David's lawyers try to discredit me, but the recordings are undeniable. The tension in the courtroom is palpable, the stakes high. Finally, the verdict is delivered, guilty on all counts. David is sentenced to prison, his reputation destroyed. I feel a mix of relief and emptiness. The trial is over, but my life will never be the same. Sarah and I sit in the kitchen, the house eerily quiet. "What now?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. "I don't know," I reply, staring at the table. "We need to rebuild if we can." She nods, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry, Tom, for everything." I reach out, taking her hand. "We'll get through this, one day at a time." We start counseling, trying to mend the pieces of our broken relationship. It's slow, painful work, but we're both committed. The trust isn't there yet, but we're trying. I focus on my children, trying to be the father they need. The ordeal has taken its toll on them too, and I know we have a long road ahead. But I'm determined to make it right. Life slowly begins to return to normal. The scars are still there, but they start to fade. I learned to forgive, to let go of the anger and betrayal. It's not easy, but it's necessary. One evening, as we sit on the porch, Sarah takes my hand. "Thank you," she says, "for giving us a second chance." I nod, feeling a sense of peace. "We're in this together," I reply. "Always." The future is uncertain, but I'm ready to face it. We've been through hell and back, but we're stronger for it. And as we look out at the sunset, I know we'll make it. One step at a time. I can't shake the feeling of dread that follows me everywhere. My mind races with every step I take. The legal battle looms ahead, and I need to be prepared. I spend hours with the police, going over every detail, every recording. The pressure mounts, but I can't afford to crack. I notice Sarah is quieter these days. She tiptoes around me, probably fearing my next outburst. One evening, as I'm working late in the study, she comes in. "Tom, we need to talk." I look up, my eyes meeting hers. "About what?" She hesitates, then sits down. "About us, about everything." I sigh, running a hand through my hair. "What's there to talk about?" She takes a deep breath. "I know I've hurt you, and I'm sorry, but we need to find a way to move forward." I nod, feeling the weight of her words. "I'm trying, Sarah. I really am. But it's hard." "We can get through this," she says, her voice trembling. "We have to." I look at her, seeing the woman I married, not the one who betrayed me. "I know, but it's going to take time." She reaches out, touching my hand. "I'm here for you, Tom. Whatever you need." The touch of her hand sends a shiver through me. I remember the nights we shared, the intimacy we once had. I want to believe we can get that back. "I need to trust you again," I say softly. "You will," she whispers. "I'll make sure of it." The days drag on, each one filled with more tension than the last. I meet with the prosecutors preparing for the trial. They tell me my testimony is crucial. I feel the weight of the case on my shoulders, knowing that if I falter, David could walk free. One night I can't sleep. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. Sarah stirs beside me, then turns to face me. "What's wrong?" "Just thinking," I say, trying to keep my voice steady. She reaches out, her hand brushing against my chest. "Come here," she whispers. I hesitate, then move closer. Her touch is familiar, comforting. She leans in, kissing me softly. "We'll get through this," she murmurs against my lips. I kiss her back, feeling a spark of the old connection. Her body presses against mine, and I feel the heat between us. For a moment I forget everything, lost in the sensation of her touch, her lips, her skin. The next morning I wake up feeling a bit more at ease. The trial is approaching, but I feel a renewed sense of determination. I spend the day going over my testimony, making sure every detail is perfect. When the trial begins, the courtroom is packed. Reporters line the back wall, their cameras flashing. I take a deep breath, steadying myself. I can't afford to be nervous. Not now. David sits at the defense table, looking smug. His lawyer, a high-priced shark, glances at me with disdain. I grit my teeth, feeling the anger rise. I need to focus. The prosecutor calls me to the stand. I walk up, feeling every eye in the room on me. I swear the oath, then take my seat. The questioning begins, and I recount everything. The affair, the recordings, the threats. I lay it all out, piece by piece. David's lawyer tries to rattle me, but I stand firm. I've prepared for this. I won't let him shake me. I look at David, seeing the confidence wane from his eyes. He knows he's in trouble. During a break, I step outside for some air. Sarah finds me, her face etched with worry. "You're doing great," she says, trying to reassure me. I nod, feeling the tension in my shoulders. "I just want this to be over." "It will be," she says, squeezing my hand. "Soon." The trial drags on for days, each one more exhausting than the last. I spend hours on the stand, then more hours waiting, watching as witnesses are called, evidence is presented. The tension in the courtroom is palpable, everyone on edge. One afternoon, a key witness takes the stand. He's one of David's former associates, and his testimony is damning. He lays out David's illegal activities, confirming everything I've gathered. The prosecutor smiles, sensing victory. David's lawyer tries to discredit him, but the damage is done. The jury listens intently, their expressions grim. I feel a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, we'll win this. The defense rests, and the jury begins deliberations. The wait is agonizing. Hours stretch into days, the tension unbearable. I try to keep busy, but my mind keeps returning to the courtroom. Finally, the jury reaches a verdict. We're called back in, the room silent with anticipation. I hold my breath as the foreman reads the verdict. Guilty on all counts. A wave of relief washes over me. It's over. David is led away in handcuffs, his smug demeanor gone. The reporters swarm, but I push through, needing to get out, to breathe. Outside, Sarah waits for me. She smiles, tears in her eyes. "We did it," she says, her voice shaking. I nod, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. "Yeah, we did." That night we celebrate. It's a quiet affair, just the two of us. We talk, we laugh, we remember what it's like to be us. For the first time in months, I feel a sense of peace. As the night wears on, the conversation turns serious. "What now?" Sarah asks, her eyes searching mine. I take her hand, feeling the warmth of her skin. "We move forward, together." She nods, a small smile playing on her lips. I like the sound of that. We fall into bed, the tension finally gone. Her touch is electric, her kiss is urgent. We make love, reclaiming the intimacy we'd lost. It's passionate, raw, and it feels like a new beginning. In the weeks that follow, life slowly returns to normal. The media frenzy dies down, and we find our rhythm again. I focus on my work, finding solace in the routine. Sarah and I rebuild our trust one day at a time. We start counseling, talking through our issues, our fears. It's not easy, but it's necessary. We learn to communicate, to be honest with each other. The process is painful, but it's healing. Our children notice the change. They see us trying, and it gives them hope. We spend more time together as a family, creating new memories, new traditions. The scars are still there, but they're fading. One evening, as we sit on the porch, watching the sunset, Sarah turns to me. "Thank you," she says softly, "for not giving up on us." I smile, feeling a warmth in my chest. "We're worth fighting for," I reply. She leans her head on my shoulder, and we sit in comfortable silence, the future stretching out before us. It's uncertain, but I'm not afraid. We've faced our demons, and we've come out stronger. As the days turn into months, I find a new sense of purpose. I volunteer, helping others who've been through similar situations. It's therapeutic, knowing I can make a difference. Sarah joins me, and we find a new bond in our shared mission. The memories of the trial, the betrayal, they fade into the background. They're a part of our story, but they don't define us. We've written a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and resilience. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours. We've earned it, every hard-fought step of the way. And as we look to the future, we know we can face anything. Together. The morning of the trial's climax arrives. I'm at the courthouse early, nerves gnawing at my gut. The air is heavy, thick with tension. I feel every eye on me as I walk in, a mix of curiosity and sympathy. Sarah is beside me, her hand gripping mine. "You've got this," she whispers, her voice steady but her eyes betraying her fear. I nod, trying to muster a reassuring smile. "I know." We sit in the courtroom, waiting for the judge to arrive. The room is silent, the only sound the rustle of papers and the occasional cough. David sits across the aisle, his expression cold, calculating. His lawyer whispers in his ear, probably last-minute strategies to discredit me. I steel myself, knowing I need to be strong. The judge enters and the trial resumes. The prosecutor stands, calling me to the stand. I rise, my legs feeling like lead, and make my way forward. I swear the oath and take my seat, my heart pounding in my chest. The prosecutor begins his questioning, guiding me through my testimony. I recount everything in meticulous detail: the affair, the threats, the illegal activities. The courtroom is silent, everyone hanging on my every word. I glance at the jury, seeing their expressions shift from curiosity to concern. David's lawyer stands ready to cross-examine me. He approaches with a smirk, thinking he can intimidate me. But I'm ready. I've prepared for this moment. "Mr. Johnson," he begins, his tone dripping with condescension, "isn't it true that you have a personal vendetta against my client?" I meet his gaze, steady and unwavering. "I have a vendetta against anyone who breaks the law and threatens my family." He narrows his eyes, trying a different tactic. "You're aware that accusing someone of such serious crimes requires irrefutable evidence, correct?" "I am, and I've provided that evidence." He smirks, thinking he's found a weak spot. "Isn't it possible that your emotions have clouded your judgment? That you're seeing what you want to see?" I feel a surge of anger, but keep my voice calm. My judgment is based on facts. The recordings, the documents, the witnesses. Everything points to David's guilt. He presses on, but I stand firm. Every question, every insinuation, I counter with the truth. I can see the frustration in his eyes, the way his smirk falters. Finally, he gives up, retreating to his seat. I exhale, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. The prosecutor thanks me, and I step down, returning to my seat beside Sarah. She squeezes my hand, her eyes filled with pride and relief. The trial continues, but the momentum is on our side. More witnesses testify, each one corroborating my story. The evidence is overwhelming, and I see the confidence drain from David's face. Days pass in a blur, each one bringing us closer to the verdict. The tension is unbearable, but I hold on, knowing the end is near. Finally, the jury is ready. We're called back into the courtroom, the air thick with anticipation. The foreman stands, holding the piece of paper that will decide everything. On the charges of embezzlement, fraud, and conspiracy, we find the defendant guilty. A wave of relief washes over me. It's over. David is led away, his expression a mix of rage and defeat. I turn to Sarah, who's crying tears of joy. We embrace, the weight of the past months lifting from our shoulders. That night we celebrate quietly at home. The kids are with friends, giving us some much-needed alone time. We sit on the couch, sipping wine, the tension finally gone. "I'm so proud of you," Sarah says, her eyes shining. I smile, feeling a warmth in my chest. "We did it together." She leans in, kissing me softly. "I love you, Tom." "I love you too," I whisper, pulling her close. Our kiss deepens, the passion igniting between us. We make our way to the bedroom, shedding clothes and inhibitions. The lovemaking is intense, a release of all the pent-up emotions. Her body moves against mine, her touch electrifying. We reach new heights of intimacy, rediscovering the connection that had been lost. The next morning, I wake up feeling lighter than I have in months. The trial is over, and we can finally start to rebuild. I spend the day at work, catching up on projects that had been neglected. My colleagues congratulate me, their support a balm to my weary soul. In the evening, I return home to find Sarah waiting for me. She's prepared a special dinner, the table set with candles and flowers. "What's all them?" I ask, smiling. "A new beginning," she says, her eyes filled with hope. We sit down to eat, talking and laughing like we used to. The wounds are still there, but they're healing. We've been through hell, but we've come out stronger. As the weeks turn into months, life slowly returns to normal. We focus on our children, our jobs, our future. We go to counseling, working through the lingering issues, rebuilding trust one step at a time. One evening as we sit on the porch, Sarah turns to me. I was thinking, maybe we should go away for a while. Just the two of us. I nod, liking the idea. Where to? Somewhere quiet, somewhere we can reconnect. Sounds perfect, I say, taking her hand. We plan a trip, something we haven't done in years. It's a small cabin in the mountains, away from everything. The drive up is filled with anticipation, a chance to leave the past behind and focus on each other. The cabin is cozy, nestled among the trees. We spend the days hiking, exploring, talking. The nights are filled with passion, the connection growing stronger with each passing moment. One night, as we lie in bed, Sarah turns to me. I'm sorry for everything, Tom, for hurting you, for betraying your trust. I look at her, seeing the sincerity in her eyes. I know, and I forgive you. She smiles, tears glistening. I promise I'll never hurt you again. We'll get through this, I say, holding her close. Together. The trip is a turning point, a chance to rebuild our relationship from the ground up. We return home feeling renewed, ready to face whatever comes next. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours. We've earned it, every hard-fought step of the way. The memories of the trial, the betrayal, they fade into the background. They're a part of our story, but they don't define us. We've written a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and resilience. The future is uncertain, but I'm not afraid. We've faced our demons, and we've come out stronger. And as we look to the future, we know we can face anything, together. The days after the trial are strange. There's a surreal quality to everything, like I'm living in a dream. But it's real. David is in prison, and life is supposed to move on. I try to settle back into a routine, but it's harder than I thought. The events of the past months have left scars, and they don't heal overnight. I throw myself into work, hoping the distraction will help. It does to some extent. My colleagues treat me with a mix of admiration and pity, and I hate it. I just want things to be normal again. But normal is a long way off. Sarah and I go to counseling regularly. It's helping, but it's a slow process. Trust is a fragile thing, and ours was shattered. We talk about everything, laying bare our fears and insecurities. It's painful, but necessary. One evening, Sarah and I are sitting on the couch, a glass of wine in each of our hands. The kids are out with friends and the house is quiet. Tom, do you ever think about what might have happened if we hadn't gone through all this? She asks, her voice soft. All the time, I admit. But we can't change the past. We can only move forward. She nods, looking thoughtful. I know, and I'm trying. We both are. We're getting there, I say, reaching for her hand. One step at a time. She smiles, squeezing my hand. One step at a time. Our intimacy grows stronger with each passing day. We find comfort in each other's touch, in the quiet moments we share. One night, as we lie in bed, Sarah leans over and kisses me, her lips soft and inviting. I need you, Tom, she whispers. I'm here, I murmur, pulling her close. Our lovemaking is tender and passionate, a reaffirmation of our bond. Her body moves against mine, and I lose myself in the sensation. It's not just about physical pleasure. It's about healing, about finding each other again. The next morning, I wake up feeling lighter. There's a sense of hope, of possibility. I get up and make breakfast, surprising Sarah and the kids. We sit around the table, talking and laughing, and for the first time in a long time, it feels normal. I start volunteering at a local community center, helping people who've been through similar situations. It's therapeutic, knowing I can make a difference. Sarah joins me, and we find a new bond in our shared mission. We're healing together. One evening, we're sitting on the porch, watching the sunset. I was thinking, Sarah says, her voice thoughtful, maybe we should renew our vows? I look at her surprised. You mean it? Yes, I want to start fresh, to make new promises to each other. I smile, feeling a warmth in my chest. I'd like that. We start planning the ceremony, keeping it small and intimate. Just family and close friends. It's a chance to celebrate how far we've come, to reaffirm our commitment to each other. The day of the ceremony arrives, and the weather is perfect. We stand in our backyard, surrounded by people who love and support us. I look at Sarah, and I'm filled with a sense of gratitude. We've been through hell, but we've come out stronger. We exchange vows, our voices steady and clear. I promise to love and cherish you in good times and bad, I say, my eyes locked on hers. I promise to stand by you, to support you, and to never take you for granted, she replies, her voice filled with emotion. We kiss, and there's a round of applause. It's a small victory, but it feels monumental. We've made it through the storm, and now we're standing on solid ground. Life starts to feel normal again. We find a new rhythm, a new routine. The kids are happy, and that makes everything worthwhile. We spend more time together as a family, creating new memories, new traditions. The scars are still there, but they're fading. One day, as I'm cleaning out the garage, I find an old photo album. I sit down and start flipping through the pages, smiling at the memories. Sarah joins me, and we reminisce about the good times. It's a reminder of how much we've been through and how far we've come. We've had quite a journey, Sarah says, her voice soft. We have, I agree, and it's not over yet. We spend the afternoon looking through the album, laughing and crying. It's a cathartic experience, a chance to let go of the past and embrace the future. As the months pass, we continue to heal. The counseling sessions are less frequent, but still important. We've learned to communicate better, to be honest with each other. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Sarah turns to me. I've been thinking about something. What's that? I ask, curious. Maybe we should start a support group for couples who've been through infidelity. We could help people, share our experience. I nod, liking the idea. That's a great idea. We could really make a difference. We start planning, reaching out to local organizations, setting up meetings. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding. We're turning our pain into something positive, something that can help others. The first meeting is nerve-wracking, but it goes well. People share their stories, their struggles, and we offer support and advice. It's a small group, but it grows over time. We're building a community, a network of people who understand what we've been through. As the group grows, so does our sense of purpose. We're not just surviving, we're thriving. We're making a difference, and that feels good. One evening, after a particularly successful meeting, Sarah and I sit on the porch watching the sunset. I'm proud of us, she says, her voice filled with emotion. Me too, I reply, taking her hand. We've come a long way. She smiles, leaning her head on my shoulder. And we'll keep going, together. The future is still uncertain, but we're not afraid. We've faced our demons and we've come out stronger. We know we can handle whatever comes our way, and as we look to the future, we do so with hope and determination. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours. We've earned it, every hard-fought step of the way. The memories of the trial, the betrayal, they fade into the background. They're a part of our story, but they don't define us. We've written a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and resilience. We continue to build our support group, helping more and more people. It becomes a central part of our lives, giving us a sense of purpose and fulfillment. We're making a difference, and that feels good. As the years pass, we look back on our journey with a mix of pride and gratitude. We've faced challenges, but we've overcome them. We've rebuilt our lives, our relationship, and our family, and we've done it together. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Sarah turns to me. I love you, Tom. I love you too, I reply, feeling a sense of peace. We sit in comfortable silence, watching the sunset, knowing that whatever the future holds, we'll face it together. We've come a long way and we're stronger for it. And as we look to the future, we do so with hope, love, and determination. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours. We've earned it every hard-fought step of the way. The memories of the trial, the betrayal, they fade into the background. They're a part of our story, but they don't define us. We've written a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and resilience. And as we sit on the porch watching the sunset, we know that we're ready for whatever comes next. Together. The final confrontation comes unexpectedly. Life has settled into a routine again. the calm after the storm. But beneath the surface, the danger still lurks. David may be in prison, but his reach extends far beyond those bars. I can feel it in the air, a tension that never quite goes away. One evening, as Sarah and I are sitting on the porch, our phones buzz simultaneously. We exchange worried looks and check the messages. It's a warning from one of the detectives who worked on the case. Be careful. David's associates are planning something. My heart pounds. We need to be vigilant, I say, gripping Sarah's hand. We can't let our guard down. She nods, her eyes wide with fear. What do we do? Stay alert, keep the kids close, and we need to get in touch with the police. Make sure they're watching the house. The next few days are tense. I can't shake the feeling of being watched. Every shadow, every sound sets me on edge. I make sure the doors and windows are locked, double-checking everything. I can't afford to take any chances. One night, as we're getting ready for bed, there's a noise outside. I freeze, my senses on high alert. Stay here, I whispered to Sarah, grabbing the baseball bat I keep by the bed. I move quietly through the house, my heart pounding. The noise comes again, a rustling near the back door. I inch closer, peering through the window. There's a figure crouching by the door, trying to pick the lock. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. Then I throw open the door, swinging the bat with all my might. The figure yelps and stumbles back, and I see his face in the dim light. One of David's men. He recovers quickly, lunging at me. We grapple, the bat clattering to the ground. He's strong, but I'm fueled by adrenaline. I manage to push him off, grabbing the bat again and swinging it at his head. He goes down, unconscious. I call the police, my hands shaking. Someone tried to break into our house, I say, my voice trembling. I stopped him, but we need help. They arrive quickly, taking the man into custody. We'll increase patrols in the area, one of the officers says. Stay vigilant. We'll do everything we can to keep you safe. Sarah and I lie awake that night, unable to sleep. What if they come back? She whispers, her voice filled with fear. We'll be ready, I say, holding her close. We won't let them scare us. The days that follow are a blur of anxiety and tension. The police are a constant presence, but the threat remains. I can't shake the feeling that something is coming, something big. One afternoon, as I'm working in the garage, my phone rings. It's the detective. We've intercepted a message. They're planning to hit your house tonight. You need to leave now. I hang up, my heart racing. Sarah, kids, we need to go now. We grab what we can and rush to the car. As we're driving away, I see headlights in the rearview mirror. They're following us. Hang on, I say, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. I take a series of sharp turns, trying to lose them. The streets blur past, my mind focused on one thing, keeping my family safe. We finally reach a police station, skidding to a stop. We rush inside, breathless. They were following us, I say to the officer at the desk. We need protection. They take us to a safe house, a small cabin in the woods. It's quiet, secluded, the perfect place to hide. But the tension doesn't leave. We're safe for now, but I know it's only temporary. That night, as we're settling in, there's a knock at the door. I freeze, my heart pounding. Who is it? It's Detective Miller, a voice calls. Let me in. I open the door, relief flooding through me. What's going on? We've got a plan, he says, his expression grim. We're going to lure them out, catch them in the act. We spend the next few hours setting up. The police use the cabin as a trap, preparing for the ambush. I'm nervous, but there's a sense of determination too. This is our chance to end this, once and for all. As night falls, the tension rises. We wait, every sound amplified in the silence. Then around midnight, we hear it. The sound of footsteps, quiet but deliberate. They're here. The police move into position, ready to spring the trap. I hold my breath, my heart pounding. The footsteps get closer, then stop. There's a moment of silence, then chaos erupts. The door bursts open, and David's men storm in. The police are on them instantly, a flurry of movement and noise. I grab Sarah and the kids, pulling them to safety. The fight is intense, but the police have the upper hand. In the end, it's over quickly. The men are arrested, taken away in handcuffs. I watch them go, a sense of relief washing over me. It's finally over. We return home the next day, exhausted but relieved. The house is quiet, the tension gone. I collapse onto the couch, pulling Sarah close. "It's over," I whisper, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. She nods, her eyes filled with tears. "We're safe." The weeks that follow are a time of healing. We focus on rebuilding, on moving forward. The danger is gone, and we can finally breathe again. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Sarah turns to me. "I'm proud of us," she says, her voice filled with emotion. "Me too," I reply, taking her hand. "We've come a long way." She smiles, leaning her head on my shoulder. "And we'll keep going, together." The future is still uncertain, but we're not afraid. We've faced our demons, and we've come out stronger. We know we can handle whatever comes our way, and as we look to the future, we do so with hope and determination. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours. We've earned it, every hard-fought step of the way. The memories of the trial, the betrayal, they fade into the background. They're a part of our story, but they don't define us. We've written a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and resilience. We continue to build our support group, helping more and more people. It becomes a central part of our lives, giving us a sense of purpose and fulfillment. We're making a difference, and that feels good. As the years pass, we look back on our journey with a mix of pride and gratitude. We've faced challenges, but we've overcome them. We've rebuilt our lives, our relationship, and our family. And we've done it together. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Sarah turns to me. "I love you, Tom." "I love you too," I reply, feeling a sense of peace. We sit in comfortable silence, watching the sunset, knowing that whatever the future holds, we'll face it together. We've come a long way, and we're stronger for it. And as we look to the future, we do so with hope, love, and determination. I sit on the porch, the evening air cool against my skin. The sun sets in a blaze of colors, casting long shadows across the yard. It's peaceful now, a stark contrast to the chaos of the past year. I take a deep breath, savoring the tranquility. Sarah joins me, her hand slipping into mine. "What are you thinking about?" she asks, her voice soft. "Everything," I say, squeezing her hand. "How far we've come." She nods, resting her head on my shoulder. "It feels like a lifetime ago." "It does," I agree. "But we made it through. Stronger." Our journey has been long and painful, but it has also brought us closer. The trust we lost is being rebuilt, brick by brick. The memories of the trial, the fear, the danger, they fade, replaced by a new sense of hope and determination. I think back to the day I discovered the affair, the anger and betrayal that consumed me. It seems distant now, a different life. We've faced our demons, confronted the darkest parts of ourselves, and emerged on the other side. "I'm proud of us," I say, my voice filled with conviction. "Me too," Sarah replies, lifting her head to look at me. "We didn't give up." "No, we didn't." We sit in silence for a while, watching the sky turn from orange to deep blue. The stars begin to appear, one by one, a reminder of the vastness of the universe. It puts things into perspective. Our problems, our struggles, they're small in the grand scheme of things. But they're ours, and we've faced them together. "I've been thinking," I say, breaking the silence. "Maybe it's time for a new chapter. Something different." "Like what?" Sarah asks, curiosity in her eyes. "Travel, maybe. See the world. We've been through so much. We deserve a fresh start." She smiles, a spark of excitement in her eyes. "I'd like that." "Where should we go first?" "Anywhere. Everywhere. Let's just go." We spend the next few weeks planning our trip. It's exciting, the idea of leaving everything behind and starting anew. We book flights, make arrangements, and finally, the day arrives. Standing at the airport, bags in hand, I feel a mix of emotions: excitement, anticipation, and a hint of nervousness. But most of all, I feel ready. Ready to embrace the future, to leave the past behind. As we board the plane, Sarah takes my hand, squeezing it reassuringly. "We're really doing this," she says, her eyes shining. "We are," I reply, feeling a sense of freedom I haven't felt in years. The plane takes off, and I watch the ground fall away, the world shrinking beneath us. It's symbolic, leaving behind everything we've known, everything we've been through. We're flying towards a new beginning, a new life. During the flight, Sarah leans over, whispering in my ear, "I'm so glad we're doing this." "Me too," I reply, kissing her softly. It's a new adventure. We land in a foreign country, the air warm and fragrant with unfamiliar scents. It's exhilarating, stepping into the unknown. We explore the city, taking in the sights, the sounds, the people. It's a sensory overload, but it's exactly what we need. Each day brings new experiences, new discoveries. We hike through lush forests, swim in crystal clear waters, and taste exotic foods. It's a whirlwind, but it's also grounding. We're finding ourselves again, rediscovering our love for life and each other. One night, as we're lying on the beach, the stars twinkling above us, Sarah turns to me. "Thank you, Tom, for everything." I smile, feeling a warmth in my chest. "Thank you, Sarah, for not giving up on us." She kisses me, her lips soft and tender. "I'll never give up on us." We make love under the stars, the waves crashing in the background. It's passionate, intense, a reaffirmation of our bond. We've been through hell and back, but we've emerged stronger, more connected than ever. As the weeks turn into months, we continue our journey, exploring new places, meeting new people. It's a healing process, each day a step further away from the pain of the past. We're building new memories, new traditions, and it feels right. Eventually, we decide it's time to go home. We've seen the world, experienced its wonders, and now it's time to settle down. But we're not the same people who left. We've grown, evolved, and our relationship is stronger for it. We return to our house, finding it just as we left it, but it feels different, like a new beginning. We unpack, settling back into our routine, but with a renewed sense of purpose. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, watching the sunset, Sarah turns to me. "I love you, Tom." "I love you too," I reply, feeling a sense of peace. We sit in comfortable silence, knowing that whatever the future holds, we'll face it together. We've come a long way and we're stronger for it. And as we look to the future, we do so with hope, love, and determination. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours. We've earned it, every hard-fought step of the way. The memories of the trial, the betrayal, they fade into the background. They're a part of our story, but they don't define us. We've written a new chapter, one filled with hope, love, and resilience. And as we sit on the porch, watching the sunset, we know that we're ready for whatever comes next, together.